No shouting, no slamming doors. Just that smug tone he used when he thought he'd won. I looked at him, my husband, the CEO, the man who once called me his equal, and I nodded. Okay. That one word was the last piece he ever got to control. I took my pillow, walked to the guest room, and closed the door behind me. I didn't cry. He would have liked that. Tears meant he still had my heart in his hands. Instead, I sat on the edge of the bed, phone glowing in the dark, scrolling through the message I'd found hours earlier. It wasn't the first time I'd seen her name. Emily, his assistant. I'd dismissed it before, too loyal, too proud to believe I could be made a fool of. But this time, he forgot to delete the photo. Her lipstick, his hand, their reflection in a hotel mirror. So when he punished me for not apologizing during dinner, I smiled to myself, because I'd already started the countdown. When we first met, he was charming in that dangerous way men with too much power often are. He liked to say, "We built everything together." He wasn't wrong. I handled the branding, the investor pitches, the numbers behind the curtain. He was the face, the charm, the wolf in a tailored suit. We were unstoppable, until he decided the empire was his alone. I noticed it in small ways. My name disappearing from press releases. His signature on documents that once bore both of ours. The way he said, "my company," not "our company." Love turned into strategy, affection into leverage. He thought marriage was ownership. I started noticing inconsistencies long before the photo. Late meetings, deleted texts, a perfume that wasn't mine. The kind of things women like me are trained to ignore because confrontation threatens the illusion. But it wasn't the affair that broke me. It was the condescension. The way he made me question myself. The way he said, "You're overreacting," every time I saw the truth too clearly. The night I found the photo, I didn't scream. I didn't confront him. I just sat there and watched the man I married walk into our bedroom, kiss my forehead, and lie beside me like nothing was broken. That was the moment I decided to stop being his wife and start being his consequence. The plan began quietly, a whisper beneath the noise. First, I called our lawyer, my lawyer, not the company's, and asked about ownership distribution. He told me half of everything was legally mine, including the brand, including the patents I'd helped write, including the accounts under my name that he'd conveniently forgotten existed. Second, I transferred what I could, slowly, carefully, enough to leave a trail that would look routine. Third, I started documenting. Every text, every receipt, every late-night meeting that was really a hotel reservation under the company card. I built a timeline, precise, unassailable. He was a CEO. I was his silent partner. But I'd always been the strategist, the one who could predict the market, the competition, the storm. He just never realized the storm would come from his own home. It took 3 months. By then, he'd grown bold enough to move Emily into business trips, introduce her as his executive liaison. I let him. I even smiled at her once in the lobby when she didn't realize I knew. He thought I was subdued, obedient, humiliated. He mistook silence for surrender. When the time came, I executed everything in one night. I met with the board, presented my evidence. Financial misconduct, affairs on company time, misuse of corporate funds. They didn't need much convincing. Half of them already resented him. I gave them what they wanted, reason and proof. By midnight, legal action was drafted. By 2 a.m., my name was reinstated on all filings. By 3 a.m., I packed my things. I took only what was mine, the shares, the documents, the silence he never understood how to use. The next morning he came into the guest room. His tone was playful, mocking. "Have you learned your lesson?" He said it while adjusting his cufflinks, eyes glinting like he'd just won another argument. Then he looked around. The closet doors open, my side empty, the drawers bare, and on the nightstand, the divorce papers, signed, notarized, accompanied by a small silver pen he'd once given me after our first deal closed. He froze. I watched from the doorway, invisible for the last time. His hands shook when he saw the documents, when he realized the board meeting scheduled for noon didn't include him, when he checked his phone and saw the email I'd sent to legal, HR, and the press. For a man who prided himself on control, watching him crumble was almost tender. Almost. He called me 12 times that day. I didn't answer once. By evening, news outlets were running the story. CEO steps down amid internal scandal. Emily disappeared. He moved out of the penthouse a week later. The company survived. It always does when the dead weight is removed. I didn't celebrate. There was no satisfaction in watching.